Hi, I'm Kevin Hill, and today we're going to do another fun painting. So let's get started. We'll start off today with the 1-inch brush, a little bit of yellow and red. We'll just mix those together. And right here, let's come right in here and paint in a little glow. Just let this work around. Let it become very, very soft. And while we have that brush going, we're gonna have some water today, so I'll just pull down, add a little bit of that color down here. With a little bit of black and blue, we can come right across the top of the sky. Just drop in a little bit of this color. And then gently, gently let it fade down right until it hits that pink we put in the center. With a nice light gray on a fan brush, we can drop in a little mountain back here. Just going to use the corner of the brush and kind of rub it in. Just the outside shape. That's all we're worried about. All right, set that brush down and pick up a clean brush. And we're going to blend this. Blend it right into the sky so it just disappears. It's very, very far away. With the 1-inch brush and a little bit of black and brown, we can start thinking about some trees up here. So I'm just gonna touch and tap very lightly with that brush, mostly the corner of the brush, and form these nice little trees. Now these trees are not too distinct. These are just kind of loose and open, not too much detail. These are gonna be in the background. In fact, maybe we'll have several trees kind of clumped together. So we don't even have to be able to tell each tree from the next. They'll all kind of just melt together. That's perfect. That's what we want. With the liner brush, we can add in a few tree trunks back here. We don't want too many. Just a few here and there to give it a little extra detail. With the filbert brush and some blue and white, we can come right over here and just tap on a little bit of snow. Just touch and tap and let it work around on the tree, just a little. We don't want to see too much detail back there. It's just too far away for that. So we'll just tap. I like this filbert brush. It's very tiny, and we can make very small, distant-looking limbs this way. If you'd rather use maybe the corner of a 1-inch brush, that would work too. You get a very similar effect. Make sure you have nice pockets of dark and light in here. Don't cover it all up solid. Now we'll load up the filbert brush with some white paint. And maybe let's start brushing in a little bit of snow down here. I'm just using this filbert brush because we had it out and going. It was working very well. So we'll just continue using it. If you want to grab a 1-inch brush, that would work fine too. Or fan brush, whatever. Just brush a little bit of this snow in. Let it work with the colors underneath. Let it become very soft. The more you work it, the more it'll grab these colors, the brown, black, and anything you have down. It'll become very, very soft and almost look like it's in shadow there. With the 1-inch brush, we'll go through a little bit of blue and white and a touch of red, just so that it cuts down a little bit on the blue. And here and there, we're just gonna scrub in some of this color. There is not much paint on this brush. If you have too much paint on this brush, it'll be very dark. And I don't want a dark shadow. I just want a nice light little shadow. We'll have some highlight on top and really make it stand out nice. See, you can just kind of scrub it in with the brush. With the filbert brush and some white paint, We can drop on some nice highlights here. Just rub them right onto the canvas like that. And be sure to leave some of the shadow that you just put in. Don't cover it all up with highlight. And when you put this highlight on, you can rub it 2 or 3 times, and that will help soften it. Anything that looks too hard, you just hit it again, and it goes right back into the painting. Kind of have that snow mounded up there a little bit. You can even leave big areas of shadow. You can also put the shadow back in if you end up covering it up too much. You're not locked in here. You can change it as we go. Maybe there's a mound of snow right there. And there's one. Sort of just drop them in. Rub them together, soften them. You can grab a 1-inch brush. I might even do that. And just gently brush over this snow. Let it melt back into the painting. With the liner brush and some black and brown, we can drop in a big tree right up here. Maybe it stops right there. And I think it has another branch right there. They connect up like that. All right, this paint is not very thin. See, it's pretty thick on that liner brush. So it'll kind of just glob right over this thick paint we have down. If you get it too thin, although it will come off the brush, we won't be able to add any more details on top. With the 1-inch brush and some yellow and red, we can tap on a few leaves that are just barely hanging on to these trees. Just tap them right on. Focus on the outside shape. And try not to get any symmetrical patterns. Just tap the brush into the paint and gently tap it on the canvas, and you should get all this nice texture. That makes it look like very, very loose, open leaves. With the filbert brush and some black and brown, we can come right up here, touch down, and just pull down with the brush. There's a lot of paint here. We're going to create a nice large evergreen tree right in the foreground. Very, very detailed. But the first thing we want to do here is just to make it very, very dark and thick. Now with the fan brush, we can add on a few little limbs that kind of hang off from this evergreen tree. Just touch with the corner of the brush. This is going to be a little bit different than the normal way we make our evergreens. We're just going to skip and go around here and there, skip areas, leave a lot of that sky showing through. Now back to the filbert brush. We can load on some very, very thick snow on these limbs. There's a lot of paint on that brush, and you need that paint on there because if it was too little paint on that brush, it really wouldn't come off right. We need it very thick and bright. With the knife and some black and brown, we can come right about here and drop in a rock. Now this rock will help to bring the foreground even closer. And it also adds kind of a nice finishing detail. With a little bit of blue on the knife, we can add in some snow right on top of this rock. Really pile it on very thick. Come back with a little bit of white and do the other side. All right, well, I think we're done. I had a lot of fun. I hope you did too. Don't forget to check out my instructional DVDs and also my website. And thanks for watching.